And I am back. This is part two. I have not even named what the first part is going to be. So, but I would say this is part two. Um, I would say just encouragement for my ladies and with prayer. Um, like I was saying before I go into the prayer, it's just so much that we as women, carry men too. But I mean, just the rise in young women being just misled, and some people think that because you're to yourself, or I'm not talking about my church, I'm talking about in the church world in general, where you have your certain people that just sit in the back kind of to themselves and come and go, and maybe you've been misjudged and it's like, oh, they just sitting in the back, don't want to do nothing. Or maybe you're one that don't really go to church, and you go around, your family will go around certain people, and they have made you feel like you need to go to church, you need to get your life together, you need to get, and you're like, whatever, you just can't receive it in that form, because you feel like you're pushing this on me, like I'm just this horrible person. I know what you did last summer. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to come to you all. God is love. That's how it should be anyway. That's how we're supposed to be. Some of us aren't, but it is what it is. But I just want to come to you, just to encourage you, just to give you love, because like I said, I just can't get over just the rise of young women that are going through so much stuff, and that some of you feel like you're alone. You're just alone in this. Some of you literally, well, you're never alone because you have God, you have Jesus. But I'm talking about a physical being that you can talk to. Some of you just are like, wow, my mother, she just doing her own thing. My father, he doing his own thing, or I don't know my father. Or, you know what I'm saying? I try to talk to this person or that person, and I just feel like, you know what I'm saying? They just don't understand. They don't want to understand. Or I'm just struggling with stuff in myself, and I just can't accept anybody's opinion right now. Or, it's just too much hurt that I can't let go. And you have to change your thinking. You have to change the way that you think and what you're saying, because life and death is in the power of the tongue. Stop saying that you can't change, you can't forgive, you can't let go, you can't do this, you can't do that. No, say you can, because you can. You can. Everything we do in life is a choice. Everything. Everything. And I want some of you to just make the choice today, just to not to live in fear, to push, to go forth, and to know that somebody cares. I care. Like I said, you can comment, inbox me, for prayer. Follow me on Facebook, Nicole IAMBCUZOFU Hinton, and it's spelled just like that. HINTON is my last name. And you know what I'm saying, I try to check my messages very frequently from Facebook, and I get them on my phone. And you know what I'm saying, some of you I've actually exchanged numbers with you, and we've prayed and we've talked. You know what I'm saying? And I'm only one person, and of course, ultimately, God is the one that makes the change. It's not about me or Nicole helping you, or Nicole is the person to go to, or nothing like that. That's not what I'm saying. It is God, but sometimes you're just like, wow, I need somebody just to hear me out, somebody just to pray, somebody to just, you know what I'm saying, just say that they care. And most times, that's what it is. And sometimes we already know what the answer is, and we already know what it is that we have to do. And somebody else is saying, you're like, you're right. I knew that. But, sometimes it just takes someone else to just, I don't know why that is, but just to come and be like, boom, boom, bam. So the whole purpose of this was I was just encouraged and led, and it was just pressed in my spirit really to really drive someone to let some things go and to push through, because it's some great things coming down the pipe for you, but you can't receive it still holding on. I was looking at, I don't know if it was a show or something, like I can't remember, but this is not my little story, but somewhere I guess I heard or read or something, it's talking about in Africa, somewhere in Africa, they catch monkeys, and monkeys are a delicacy. So how they catch them is they put little holes in the ground, big enough for them to fit their hand in, but they put a ball or something like that in the ground. So the monkey, this is how they catch them. The monkey puts his hand, squeezes his hand in the hole, grabs onto the fruit or the nut or whatever it is that they want, and because they're holding on to it, they can't get their arms out. And they come over, woo woo woo, sorry, no. They come over and hit him in the head, boom, he knocked out, brains getting eaten, and he caught. But if only the monkey would have did the simplest thing, to stick his hand in, realize he couldn't get it out, let it go, he would have been free and alive. But sometimes we're holding on to stuff so much so we get caught up in all this other stuff, and because we're so busy trying to concentrate on that, we don't see our enemies coming, we don't see the blows, we don't realize what's going on around us, because we're so concerned and consumed on holding on to whatever's in that hole. What is in that hole of yours that you're holding? Is it bitterness from a past relationship, someone that hurt you, failures, all of that? You're getting caught up and you can't push and go forth like we was talking in part 1 in the video. You can't push and birth out these ideas that's going to bless you, and not just you, it's about blessing someone else. You can't push because you're stuck thinking about all this other stuff, questioning why constantly. Why did this have to happen to me? It's sad, but you have to come to a point where you're like, I have to be focused on what God has in store now. This year, I'm not taking the foolishness that I did. I shouted around in New Year's Eve service, almost bust my head, went into the year with the same mentality. Not me, I'm saying some people, period. And it's about being real. I did all that, heard 2008, everything great, 2009, right on time, all these things, and did not put that in my spirit, did not push myself. And in 2011, it was like a whirlwind just came, and I went through some things, and I got sidetracked, and I still had hurt, I still had pain. I went up to the altar, I still got prayed for, I talked to people, and I said thank you, but I really didn't let it go. I'm being real, I'm that monkey with my hand in the hole, still holding on to my daddy not being there, my mother not talking to me going through this bad relationship, me letting go of a good man, and now seeing another woman reaping the benefits. Now I feel like I've let go of the person that I was meant to be with, and now there's nobody else who's gonna want me. I have other kids who's gonna want me with these kids, who is, no. That's when you can't focus on what you need to, because you're focused on that. That's why when I was saying in part 1 about going through the pains of carrying the baby, I got so caught up in the spitting and the throwing up and all that, instead of concentrating on the fact that God has blessed me to conceive. God has blessed me. I'm going to actually be holding this baby. I'm not going to be calling in and going into the doctor's office and them saying, okay, the sonogram shows is, everything is passed. There's nothing there. And God is saying, no, this time I don't want you to miscarry. This time I don't want you to abort. See, because sometimes, we miscarry, and, that's when we get, when we get all, caught up in everything that happened to us and pitiful, and we just get in a state, and then we abort the assignment that we were supposed to do. I cannot minister to you. I cannot go forth with the business. I cannot be happy in this marriage now because I'm still holding on to Eric, or I can't do this business adventure because, my other partner screwed me over and let me down, or I failed, and, I'm just not ready to face that failure. God, not. He's like, stop. Let it go. Time to push. Time to stop. Some of us acting like weaklings, saying we can't and we won't and it's not going to happen. No. When you feel that pain, when you felt that pressure this year, and when you feel it again, because it's not like just because a new year comes in that there's not going to be frustrations, that there's not going to be things that try to come against you, because there always will be opposition. What he is saying, what God is saying, what I feel him saying in my spirit is that when you feel the pressure, when you feel the pain, just like a woman in travail, just like when you are birthing, when you're feeling those contractions, he's like, no, you gotta push, you gotta push, you gotta go on, because you got to see what the end is gonna be, and it's gonna be great. Some of you all are right at the breaking point of your blessing, of your breakthrough, of that thing that you felt like you did not deserve. And truthfully, some of us didn't deserve it. You had no idea. And I had wrote, again, this very long, very, very long, 6-page letter, almost the same like on Facebook, how the Lord was just showing me different scenarios of just how the enemy, or just even within ourselves, how we even trick ourselves. You know what I'm saying? How certain things happen, and how God just turns them around for our good. And if we could just get past that, how some things, are sent from the enemy, and some things are things that happen in life circumstances. And again, like I said, some situations we put ourselves into. But what I'm saying is, it's not by chance that some of these things have happened. You know what I'm saying? So it's not by chance that, as a little girl, you were talked down to, or you were verbally abused, or as in your adulthood, you were like, oh, I'm going to live for God, and I'm going to try and, do things his way. And then this cute guy, or dudes, fellas, this cute girl, blah, blah, comes along. You know what I'm saying? And then you get all caught up, and they make you feel horrible, and then you leave. And then when God sends the person, because you haven't allowed yourself time to heal, because you have not let go, you destroy the very thing that God has sent you. But it was a plot and a setup from the enemy since the beginning. You know what I'm saying? It's not by chance certain things happen to us when we're trying to do what's right. But that does not define you. That's what I want you to know. It does not define you. What we went through, what I went through, does not define me. It does not define who I am today. Like I said, in my past, I was in bad relationships. I had abortions, just not caring, not knowing how it would affect my life further down the line. Certain things happened to me as a child that was out of my control. Certain things happened in my adulthood that was in my control, but done out of what I experienced and everything that I saw, because I was never told about holiness and living a holy lifestyle, and waiting in purity. It was an option of waiting till I was 18 or when I was married. So, hey, 18, So it's like, some of us, it's all sorts of things and all sorts of reasons why we went through what we went through, why we did what we did. Some of them made sense, some of them absolutely made no sense, but we still aren't defined by what we did and who people say we are and what people know about us. That does not matter. Even my worst, I wouldn't say my worst enemies, or even, what I'm saying, no matter who a person is, whether they like you, or even your enemy. That's why, we have to even pray for our enemies. We can't even be judgmental towards our enemies. Really, Satan is the ultimate enemy. He is the enemy. And some people allow themselves to be used by him. But, when you're dealing with people, you have to still even look at them as a soul. And that's another reason why we have to let go. There have been people that have hurt me and that are not in the same place that I am, maybe even spiritually, or maybe even not even spiritually, just mentally. You just should know that. But I have to still be careful that I not hold on to certain things. And God is still working with me with all of that, and he still will. This is not something that can ultimately just change overnight. But the more I talk about it, the more I feel strengthened. The more you hear it, the more strengthened you will be. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, even still, this is not just something I'm talking to, everybody that I like and everybody that I'm cool with. No, that's for everybody. That's why I'm telling you, you got to let go of people who have hurt you, of people who have wronged you. And we have to be careful not to put our mouths on them, because it's always a chance at redemption. It was for me. It was for you. And the very ones that kind of come against you is sometimes what's in you, they need. Most times. Yeah. And you have to make yourself available for healing, so that you can go back and you can help other people be healed. God can send you to the very person that plucked your nerves, and say, you have to say this. You have to hug them. You have to help them. And I know some of you still like, I don't know about that. Some situations are like just out of your control. Like, they might be in jail for what they did to you. I can't help them. They're in jail. But I'm talking about the pettiness, the petty type stuff. We just have to let go. We have to let go so we can go forward. When we feel that pressure, that pain, you don't feel the pressure and the pain and then back up. Like you said, when it's compared to those contractions, they tell you when you feel another one, push. And that's what you really have to do. And also, ladies, it's like, and here I go now, I'm talking to you, big sister Nicole, or just girlfriend Nicole. What sense, and just really think about it, because I had to say this to myself too at one point. What sense does it make for people to hurt us and we destroy ourselves? That's like, you slap me, so I'm going to slap myself. Why would I do that? You hurt me, so I'm going to sleep with your brother. You hurt me, so I'm going to sleep around because I'm hurt by you. Because some situations, some people are promiscuous because they've been hurt or they've been molested. So I can't deal with the hurt of that. So I'm going to go and sleep around and risk getting AIDS and die, and you be living your life and chilling. It's been times where, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not coming from a judgmental place, because I have been in some of these situations where someone have hurt me, and instead of me taking time out to be single and this was even before I was in church, and this is just common sense and just something that you should do. Everything doesn't require looking at a scripture. Some things should be instilled or told to you. Like I said, I didn't have anybody to talk to. So instead of me saying, okay, he hurt me, I need to just step back, get myself together, concentrate on me, try to go to school or something like that. Boom. I ain't got time for him. I need to be worrying about myself anyway. I'm young, but rational, reasonable things to think about. Instead, he made me mad, blah, 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 blah. And and even this, it was a saying, I guess on Friday, or no, not Friday, Deliver Us from Eva. And they were in the barbershop, and she was like, yeah, the best way to get over a man is to get under a new one. Hey! No, that's not the way to go. And that's how a lot of us are carrying it. Even if it's not intentionally, it's like you're not giving yourself a break. You are going from one person to the next to forget the next, to forget the previous. You know what I'm saying? But all you're doing is hurting yourself. All you're doing is putting yourself in compromising situations. And I could have been a mother way before now because of wrong choices, of being hurt and just going to the next man. Saying he want to act funny, he don't want to answer his phone. Got something for. Hello. Yeah, you was talking. You had contact with my girlfriend and had asked, hey, yeah, Keith, hi. Yes. Well, it's complicated. Like, we're not together. I don't really know what's going on, but this is not about him. You had called my homegirl, and you wanted to see you. Yeah. Okay. On the next date. And then if Keith messed up, you on the next date with Taquan or Rodney or Reggie. You know what I'm saying? And it's all because of the previous person hurting you or dogging you out or doing what they did, but you're hurting yourself. You're giving yourself. And I'm not just, maybe you like, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you just did go on a date. But I'm talking about for ones who may have, like me, have went on a date, then just went straight back into a relationship. And then wind up giving yourself to someone else who wasn't your husband, who did not deserve it. All because you're running from the previous problems. And, it's not fair to us, to ourselves, to the children that we have that have to go through this, because we're not taking time to sit back, ladies, and think about what we're doing before we're doing it. Because God has so much in store for us, so much he wants to do for us, so much that we have inside because of what we went through. Even that's the good thing about God. It says everything the enemy meant for evil, he turns around for our good. Because even when we make these crazy decisions and these crazy mistakes, he allows us to go back and help somebody else. Okay, so part 3, for real, is going to be with prayer.